Wagwan, it's Chanice Rich here, and I'm back with another story time. Well, actually, by popular demand, I am back with a story time animated reaction video. You guys enjoyed the last one and have requested that I do this again. So I'm going to be reacting to one that was actually just uploaded today. I have no idea if it's any good. You already know how I feel about these story time animation videos. I don't believe that they're real, but apparently people send in their stories to the narrator. I guess she's the owner of the channel and she reads people's stories. Today I'm going to be watching My Billionaire Husband Made Me His Maid. But before we go on into this video, I need you guys to smash that thumbs up button and turn it blue. If you're new, subscribe, join the team, and become my online bestie. So my first thoughts with this story is the husband probably got rich, you know, became a billionaire. Maybe his business took off and decided like, I'm gonna make my wife a maid instead of hiring a maid and enjoying all that lavish money with your wife. That is my first thoughts just based on the title, but we'll see. Let's get into the story and find out what it's really about.
I always go for the worst kind of guys. I've dated some really selfish men, as well as unloyal men.
Girl, I could relate to that. I don't know what it is, but I always end up with the worst kind of man, except for my new boo right now. He's a good kind. But previously, I used to always end up with the worst kind of men. I don't know why. I don't know how the hell I attract them. But I feel you. We got that in common.
Like when I was in high school, I dated the school jock, even though everyone knew he was a jerk. He was so up himself, and he thought everyone was below him. But I still had a huge attraction to him. I don't even know why. He wasn't that handsome either.
I know those ones when when you're not really attracted to a guy, like physically attracted, but then you have a crush on them and you just don't know why. Like, even worse when they don't even have a good personality, because I doubt this jock had a good personality. It's just like, what is wrong with me? Girl, I get it.
I guess I just had really bad taste in men. In college, I started pursuing this guy who had a big reputation for cheating on girls.
Okay, now that's wild. If I know a guy has a huge reputation for cheating, I'm not gonna even go there. I am not gonna go there. One, once a cheater, always a cheater. Two, I cannot change him. And three, I would just be paranoid, thinking like, okay, you've done this to so many other girls. What makes me different? Not saying I ain't different from these hoes or fabulous. I'm just saying I would not put it past him, and I would be wondering all the time like, is he cheating on me? She's wrong for that. If you know he's a serial cheater, like, don't even go there. Okay, guys, take my advice. Don't even go there. You cannot change the man. Once a cheater, always a cheater.
You probably think I'm really stupid, but you have to understand, I was in love. It doesn't make any sense, but sometimes you can't help the way you feel, right?
Okay, right? You cannot help the way you feel, but you have a choice to ignore those feelings and do what's right or best for you and not go there. Yes, you can be in love with a guy that is a known serial killer, but should you date him? No, because he might kill you next. My point is, just because you love them doesn't mean that you need to be with them at all. And you might just have a problem where you just love every guy you see. That's what it sounds like she has.
Well, when I met my billionaire husband, I thought that for the first time I was attracted to someone who wasn't a jerk or a cheat. His name was Tom, and he was so kind and sweet. I believe things were going to work out amazing between us. I couldn't have been more wrong.
So I was wrong. She met him as a billionaire already. So I already got that wrong. I don't know if it's just a stereotype, but I find like guys with money who already have a lot of money are not going to treat you as nice as an average dude. Just because they feel like they have money, they can treat you however they want. I find those guys to be more on the abusive side. and they think like, okay, she's not gonna leave me because I have money.
When I met Tom, I thought I'd found the perfect man to be my husband. We met at a friend's wedding, and when I saw him, I immediately knew I was in love with him. He was so handsome. And to top it all off, he was so nice to me too. He immediately complimented me on my dress and told me I was beautiful. I have to admit, I was pretty much in love with him at that moment. Within a few minutes of first meeting him, that's another thing. I fall in love really easy.
Called it. Obviously you fall in love really easy. You cannot be in love with all these guys that you've dated or just talked to. You're in love with them already. Like, that's crazy. I've only been in love twice and I dated multiple men. Okay, no girl, you got issues. Like, you got either some daddy issues, you need to go to therapy, not seek a boyfriend. How are you falling in love with a man because he complimented your dress? That's wild.
Anyway, we started dating and I couldn't believe he would date me, of all people.
You see?
I can't believe he would date me out of all people.
Girl, know your worth. That is some real insecure crap, and that's why she keeps ending up in these types of situations with horrible men, because these men will prey on girls that are insecure like her. She should not be saying like, I can't believe he's with me. Like, why me? You should be like, bitch, it better be me, because ain't nobody as good as me. Ain't nobody could do it like me. You should be saying, he's lucky. Not you're lucky. He's lucky. She got things backwards. Let's keep watching.
I wasn't pretty at all, or that's what I believed, and I didn't really think I was that interesting.
I get that. I get having insecurities and not thinking you're beautiful or interesting or whatnot, but girl, you got to keep those things inside, suppress, not let that show, and remind yourself that you are beautiful. There is something about you that's interesting that a guy will be lucky to have.
But he seemed to like me. He would buy me tons of expensive gifts too, and we would go on vacation a lot.
Girl, you lucky. I have yet to have a guy take me on a vacation. I'm waiting. Boo, I hope you're watching this. I'm on a vacation.
On our third date, he bought me this huge diamond necklace, which must have cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. I couldn't believe it. I asked him how he could afford something like this, and he just said I shouldn't worry about it.
He's a drug dealer? He's a drug dealer. He's selling coke. Or he's doing much worse. When you ask a man what he does for a living or how he can afford his money, he says, don't worry about it. Worry about it. Be suspicious.
I wanted to dig a little deeper, so I did some research and
Good girl, do your research.
found out he was the owner of this massive car company. That's when I realized my boyfriend...
Oh, I was wrong. He's the owner of a massive car company that is doing some underground dirty. Trust me. Trust me. I don't know, but it's kind of sketchy for him to say, don't worry about it. Like, what?
My boyfriend was a billionaire. Well, that just made me love him even more.
Because he's a billionaire, she started to love him even more. That is not love, sweetie. That is lust. That is infatuation. You are lusting after him because he's good looking and he has money and he compliments you. That's not love, sweetie. Get it together. But I won't lie though. I mean, if a man has $1 billion, I might love him too.
After a few months, I was just about ready to marry him.
This girl just said she about to get ready after a few months. You do not know the guy. He wouldn't even tell you what his job was, what he did for a living. And you're gonna marry him? $1 billion though. No, Chanice, no, don't go there. No, 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 no. I wouldn't do it. In all honesty, in all seriousness, I wouldn't marry a guy after a few months just because he had money, especially if he's hiding things like what he does and how he makes his money. Girl, best believe he's hiding a lot more things.
He was the perfect guy, handsome, kind, generous. And then, finally, Tom proposed. He paid for this romantic dinner by the seaside and had a small violinist come over to play while he proposed. It was so romantic. We moved into a new house.
That's sketchy. For a guy to have that kind of money and propose to a girl after a few months, there's something wrong there, because I know men that have that type of money are going to take their time with a girl before, committing something big. I wonder if she signed a prenup. I feel like they wouldn't just marry anybody that they just been dating for a few months, because they have a lot to lose, Something is sketchy.
A huge mansion with over 7 bedrooms and even a cinema, and everything seemed perfect. But it was far from it. At first, things were fine. Actually, probably the happiest I'd ever been. But as the weeks went by, I found Tom started to change.
You see? You moved too quickly, honey. Let's just hope he's not abusive.
He would switch from his previously kind character and started asking me to do a lot of stuff around the house, like sweep and clean. It didn't make sense though, since he could easily afford a maid.
My point exactly. Like, listen, I'm not a lazy girl. I'm gonna take care of my home. But he has to take care of the home too. But honestly, if he's bringing home the money and I don't have to work, then yes, I'll take care of the home. But if you're rich and we can afford a maid, you're not cleaning, why do I have to clean? Why don't we just hire a maid? That's some controlling shit. He was so nice and sweet to you, married you after a few months, and then switched as soon as you guys got married and moved into a house together. He has some demons. I'd run fast.
But before long, I almost felt like the maid of the house. Since I didn't have a job and Tom was the one who mainly worked, I thought my life would be pretty carefree. But that wasn't the case. Tom made me do all sorts of chores, some of which were really hard, and I found myself exhausted by the end of the day.
What do you mean your man's giving you chores just because he's rich? Like, am I your child? Hell no. No. See, in that situation, I'd be like, okay, if that's how it's gonna be, I'm gonna just go out and work then. Nah, something's off. If my man's rich and we can afford a maid, why the hell am I doing it? Something's wrong here.
This wasn't how a husband should treat his wife.
Absolutely should not treat you this way. I'm glad something's clicking.
It was rude and selfish, but I supposed he was earning all the money.
I don't care if he's earning all the money. You guys are still equal in a relationship. He knew you didn't have that kind of money before you guys got married, so he shouldn't be treating you less than just because he has money.
So I convinced myself that maybe this was the right thing to do. One day, Tom came home from work and asked me to put on this costume for him. I was curious what he meant, but...
Nah, he's making you his puppet. He's controlling. He's a serial killer!
Then I cried out when I realized it was a maid costume.
He turned his wife into a whole maid? I'm just trying to understand. I don't understand his logic. Like, what is the point of having a wife be your maid when you could just have hired a maid instead of marrying someone if you just wanted a maid? Like, do you guys understand what I'm trying to say? I'm confused.
I told him no, I wouldn't wear it. And why did he want me to anyway?
Great question, sweetie.
But then he started yelling at me and he got really mad. And I don't know, I guess I just wanted to please him?
Oh, sweetie, no. First of all, who is he yelling at? I am not your child. You are not my daddy. Are you dumb? Please him? What? Just because he has money? Like, what else is he doing in this relationship where you feel like, oh, he is the greatest, I want to please him? Not a damn thing from what you're telling us. So what are you trying to please? Girl, you need to get out.
So I said I'd wear it. Tom made me wear the maid uniform every single day. It was so humiliating. He made me wash his clothes, sweep the house, clean the kitchen, do everything you can imagine a maid could do. But in truth, I was fine doing it if it meant he was happy.
You were the maid. You were the maid. What do you mean you enjoyed doing it because he is happy? What about your happiness? That's wild.
Once I embraced my role as his maid, he was so nice all the time and always treated me kindly. I believed what I was doing was worth it. But then came that fateful day. It was Tom's birthday, and I was planning this huge surprise party with all of his friends from work. I organized all the food, drinks, and entertainment. When he finally arrived, he was so shocked. I ran up to him to wish him a happy birthday.
I already know what's gonna happen. He's gonna be pissed because he lives a secret life because he's a serial killer. He's a serial killer.
But he seemed to kind of ignore me. I thought maybe he just hadn't noticed me, but then he glanced at me and ordered me to start serving drinks. I couldn't believe my husband would do something like that.
Ooh, in front of the guests? Man has his wife serving drinks like a maid in a maid outfit in front of his friends? That's wild.
He still wanted me to be his maid. I had to serve everyone, and no one realized that I was his wife.
Oh, they didn't know? They did not know? Maybe he has a whole wife somewhere, or his girlfriend's gonna show up at the party. I don't know.
I walked up to Tom to tell him how I felt. I had had enough. "Tom, I need to speak with you," I said. "Oh, hello there," he said, as if he were speaking to a maid. He then proceeded to introduce me to his friends as his maid.
Oh, he hiding her. Oh, wow. There is something fishy and wrong here. Guys, I'm trying to figure it out. Let's keep watching.
"Guys, this is my maid Amber. Don't you have work to do, Amber?"
This is my maid Amber? Don't you have work to do, Amber? I would have slapped him right there in front of his whole guests. I'm your mother effing wife. Who are you talking to like that? Are you dumb? I would embarrass him at his own birthday party. Are you stupid? Hell no.
I couldn't believe my ears. Why would he do this? I thought Tom was the perfect guy. As it turned out, my record for dating the worst guys still wasn't broken.
Wasn't broken because you don't love yourself. You're still very insecure. You fall in love way too quickly. Like, you need to take time and stop dating and focus on you. Heal yourself, get better, love yourself. And you will not tolerate crap like this, because I don't understand why you are still married to this dude or still in the house after he was trying to make you your maid. Like, it's not adding up.
"Tom!" I shouted, and everyone at the party stopped to stare. "We're over. I'm filing for a divorce. You humiliated me for long enough, and I'm done being your maid."
You tell him, sis. But if I find out you go back to this guy, at the end of the story, I'm fighting you.
You can keep your money. You can take away the gifts you gave me. I don't care. I don't love you anymore.
Sis, you can't just stop loving someone just like that if it was really love. It was lust. You saw the real him and the horrible person he is, and your lust faded because you are now turned off by him. It was lust, never love. But I'm proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
Tom glared at me with red eyes full of fury. I could tell he was so angry. Then suddenly he grabbed my arm and forced me out of the room. The party guests seemed to just think it was a problem between a boss and his maid, but little did they know I was actually his wife. Tom dragged me upstairs and I couldn't fight back. He was way too strong. He yanked my arm and then he locked me in the attic.
Serial killer! Didn't I call it? Didn't I call it? He's a serial killer. How is he locking the girl in the attic? Are you crazy? And the guests are just standing there not doing anything? That's wild. Even if they think it's just a maid. Like, what? Some abusive stuff is happening right in front of you and you just stand there and watch? No, I'd be like, let go of that girl right now. What are you doing? Are you mad? And I would be yelling and screaming. What do you mean he's dragging me upstairs and locked me in the attic? I would be screaming.
He slammed the trap door and I heard the lock slip through. I tried to call for help, but no one could hear me over the music from the party.
Oh, she really started screaming. But man, lock the door? That's some serial killer shit.
I was up there for hours. I couldn't believe my husband would do something like this. He couldn't just lock his wife up. That was disgusting. I realized Tom wasn't the man I thought he was.
Because you married him too quickly, sweetie. You needed At least a year to find out who he really was.
Hours passed, and eventually the party ended, and everyone went home. It seemed like Tom wouldn't be coming up for ages. I started to walk around the attic to see if there was a phone or something I could use to call the police.
He's a serial killer. There is no phone in that attic.
But I bumped into a pile of boxes, and a digital camera fell out. I bent down and picked it up curiously. It still had batteries in it.
She's going to see all his other victims. Watch.
I turned it on and found a single video in its gallery. I pressed play. It was a video of a woman. She was wearing the same clothes as me, and she seemed to be sitting in the attic.
He killed her. He's a serial killer. He makes people his wife, turn them into maid, and then end their life.
She started to speak, and what she said shook me to my core. Hi, I don't know you, and you don't know me, but if you're watching this, that means Tom has locked you up in the attic, as he did to me. My name is Tina, and I used to be the loving wife of Tom. That is, until Tom made me his maid. It might sound crazy, but Tom has done this before you. That's right, all of his recent wives, he made them his maid. And when he got bored of them, or when the wives got fed up, he fired them.
What do you mean he's fired them? Does he kill them? Like, where are they? Like, I'm so confused.
As if they were nothing. You may be wondering why Tom behaves this way. Let me explain. I figured this one day when I was looking through Tom's things as I cleaned. I found his diary from ages ago, and this is what I discovered. Tom hates women. Like, really hates women.
He's a serial killer! He kills women!
His mother left him when he was young, and his father was very abusive.
It's always some trauma shit, man. It's always some trauma shit that turns these people into serial killers. Tell you, please get to know the people that you are sleeping with, that you are dating before you commit, before you become in a serious relationship with them, because I've been there. You will be dating some demons that will put on like they are the greatest, most nicest human being and loving human being to you. But that's not love, sweetie. That is not love. They are just playing a role until they get you where they want you, and then you will see the real them, and then they'll attack. You're just a victim. It's not love. You're a victim.
His father hated women, and so he taught his son the same thing. Now, to punish women, and in a way to punish his mother for abandoning him, he makes women be his maid to humiliate them.
He just punishes women to making them be their maid, but like, is he killing them? Like, I'm so confused. Like, where's the dramatics of the story?
I only figured this out just now, and so I'm leaving this as a warning to any of his future wives. Get out of there. It isn't safe. And stop being his maid. Trust me, he's not worth it. The video ended, and I was numb with shock. I couldn't believe what I had just heard. Was Tom going to hurt me? What did Tina mean? I heard footsteps suddenly, and then my stomach dropped as Tom came up the attic stairs. He suddenly appeared in front of me. Stay back, I yelled. I know everything.
Why would she tell him while she's still in the attic? Like, I don't get it. People do the dumbest things ever. He could just lock you right back in the attic, and then for sure he's gonna end your life. Like, why would you say that you know everything? You play nice and whatever. You get downstairs, you get to a safe place, and then you let it out. Some people are dumb as hell, I swear to God.
I know about your past wives. I know about your abandoning mother. I know you hate women. Tina told me everything. Tom's eyes widened as I slammed him with all this new information.
You are dead for sure now. Like, he was probably coming to, oh, I'm so sorry, sweetie, and give you a lame excuse as to why he locked you in the attic and whatever. That was your point, to play along, to get yourself out the attic and to escape. But your dumbass self just got yourself killed.
What? He exclaimed. This is wrong, Tom. You can't hate women. Your mother may be bad for walking out on you, but that doesn't mean every woman is a bad person. I started crying. I loved you, Tom. I really did. Why did you have to do this to me? Then, to my surprise, Tom started to break down crying in front of me.
He's crying? Did she really get through to him? Or is this just another one of his tricks? Let's see.
I'm so sorry, Ember. He was down on his knees begging. I know it's wrong, but I just get so angry. I promise you, I won't treat you like a maid ever again. Please, I love you.
That is way too easy. There's only 44 seconds left in the story. It could not end like this. That is way too bogus if it does. Let's keep watching.
Please forgive me. I turned my head. I don't forgive you, I said, and Tom flinched at the words. I'm done dating horrible men, I said, and with those last words, I ran past him, heading for the attic door. He tried to grab me, but I managed to slip through his fingers.
How this time you slipped through his fingers and last time you didn't slip through his finger? Bogus! The story's bogus.
I bolted down the stairs and immediately grabbed my phone and called the police, and they arrested him for holding me against my will. I can now confidently say I have a much better taste in men. My current husband is a kind, sweet, and gentle man who
I bet she started dating the new guy the next day. She don't learn. She don't learn.
loves me very much, as every husband should be. And I can tell you, he does not make me clean the house every day. In fact, he does most of the cleaning around here.
If he's doing most of the cleaning, sweetie, I hope you are working and bringing in the money. It should be 50-50, guys, seriously. You know what? We're not going to even get into that. But that was the end of that story. I thought it would be like a little bit more dramatic, you know, and somebody was going to die, but I guess not. Thankful that, you know, she was live to tell the story, but like, I don't know. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you smash that thumbs up button and turn it blue. And if you're new, subscribe, boo, join the team, and become my online bestie. Don't forget to always chase your dreams. I will see you guys in the next video. But in the meantime, between time, make sure you check out these videos. And guys, if you want more storytime animation reactions, make sure you let me know in the comments down below. Alright guys, bye!